So I just did a video kind of talking about the cult of motherhood, and there was something I couldn't remember what I wanted to say. And what I wanted to say, and what I'll say now, is I think how we can be good mothers. It's not about things looking perfect and always being precious and beautiful. These things that the Smith article was talking about and that we experience on the daily as moms. Unless you're just super self-connected and super disconnected from society, probably you experience some of this press to be perfect, particularly as mothers, because also there's so much guilt around if we're not doing it right, or how we perceive as right? So how can we be effective, strong mothers? And man, there's a lot to this, isn't there? I think the way we are effective mothers is that we are effective people. And by effective, I mean real, I mean honest, I mean really, really doing the work to excavate what's under your motivations in your life. What are your beliefs? What are your ideals? What are your ideas of things that create some kind of a vision and an image that you then compare yourself to? Let's excavate those and look at them. And instead of creating new ones, let's just get rid of them. Look at what's real and be with that, because that is where compassion is born. And to me, that is where I want to be. Creates even a vision, doesn't it? That is a space that for me, mothering from is the most effective. So what can we do to be good mothers? We model what it is to be a woman, what it is to be a human being, what it is to be this consciousness in form in this environment. And we re-immerse and we reintegrate and we reconnect ourselves with what we have disconnected from, what we have, in the ways that we have dismembered ourselves. We remember those parts of ourselves and model that for our daughters. So one aspect, or our sons, I just happen to have a daughter, so I said that. One aspect of that for me that I mentioned that I continually struggle with is this need to work and create, and for me in particular to write, and the guilt that goes along with this false comparison of, well, I could be with my daughter and nothing is worth more than being with my daughter. So how could I trade that time, because I only have so much time in the day, for time with my creative pursuits or my writing work? And how can I even take that time from being with her, even if I think this is something, quote unquote, the world needs to hear, and that would be healing to the world? How can I put the world over Vivian? Because we hear so many stories, right, about people who, when they were children, their parents were famous people, or, putting out something incredible into the world, but basically were not present for their children at all. So their children had this abandoned experience in their life while their parents were out saving the world. I mean, that's an extreme kind of way to look at it, but that's a way I will look at it sometimes when I'm I really want to go right, but how can I say that that's more important than my time spent with my daughter? And here is where I have had it completely wrong. Because the fact is, I am a human being. I am a human that has this intrinsic need to create in a particular right. And when I don't have that, the fact is that I start to crawl out of my skin and I start to get crazy, and I am not present. I don't mean crazy and like I'm going to harm my child. So if you're afraid of that, don't worry. I just start to kind of like spin out in my head a little bit, and I'm not as present with her, and I'm not enjoying the time because I'm having this pull internally that I need to create and whatever is needing to happen for me in the moment. And that, for some reason, has been an area of my life that has escaped my scrutiny that I have for every other part of my life, which is listen to your body, listen to your body, listen to your body, and follow intuition and gut feeling. For some reason, I found it, I didn't even look at it and thought it was, this is going to sound wrong, thought it was acceptable to overlook that. I wasn't aware that I was overlooking that. I was overlaying this like this picture of perfect, beauticious motherhood over everything, and it's a mistake. It's a mistake, and I understand it now. The facts are just the facts, that I am someone that wants to create and needs to create, and all of that goes along with that. So the article, the Smith article that I referred to in the last video, talked about the fact that we know 100% from research that working mothers who work, there's no detrimental effect to the children, and in fact, there are often a lot of benefits to that. So if you have that running around your mind, that you are not being a good mom unless you're home 24/7 with your child, or that there's something better about that, there just flat out isn't. And I know in my life that if I do not listen to the pull that's in me, listen to my intuition and my gut, and go get some quiet time and write or meditate or whatever it is, the writing and the creating is not necessarily the point here. The point is listening to what your body needs and what your essence needs in the moment, and doing that. Because what do we want to teach our kids? We want to teach them that. We want to teach them heart connection, body integration. We want to teach them all of that, that if we are putting this beatific vision of motherhood onto that, we are missing that, and we're modeling repression and oppression to them. On top of the fact that if I don't do those things, I am not really much good to my daughter. I can take care of her, I can meet her needs, I can even love her, but I cannot be the full person that I am with her. And so if I'm squelching that and repressing that and trying to be a good mom and hold on and spend all my time with her and not need anything for myself, it's super damaging, not only to me, but to her, because that's what I'm modeling for her. And God damn it, I am going to model for her a woman who is a full woman, a woman who creates, a woman who moves her body, a woman who takes quiet time, a woman who values solitude and creativity, and a woman who doesn't judge herself by some stupid standard and some advertising vision, a woman who lives, a woman who feels in the moment, a woman who feels herself and her body and her emotions and energies, everything in the moment. That's what I will model for her. And I have to kind of keep going through these like checkpoints. I'm thinking of locks, like going up a waterway where I get sort of stopped, and I have to then look at, what am I telling myself? What am I comparing myself to? What am I telling myself to be that I'm actually not? And when I can clear that, and when I can get some solitude and some free time, and I can let myself be, and I can not pressure myself then to create, not pressure myself to do the checklist, but really be with what's there, I can come back to the moment and come back into my body and come back into myself and into connection with my heart, and reset and go up the lock. So that's what I wanted to say. That's what I forgot to say. And the other one was getting pretty long, so maybe it's good that this was a separate video. Being a person, we just saw Raya this week with Vivi, and I won't go into Disney, but the dragon turns into a person, and she said it's hard to be a person, something like that. And it can be hard to be a person, but we make it hard because we unconsciously make it hard. We, not on purpose, make it hard because we dismember ourselves, and we try to be somewhere, something, someone that isn't happening in this moment, and to measure up to an ideal. And I think nowhere is that more glaringly present than in motherhood today. All right, be good to yourself.